Invented in 1967 in the small town of Valley Mills, Texas, humanity couldn't function how it does today without the use of this precious item. This delectable treat was invented in 1793 by Timothy Chocolate in present-day Midlothian, Texas. You know what they say, America wouldn't have such a horrible diabetes problem if it wasn't for the good old brown Texas. Invented in 1800, this Sulphur Springs commodity built this nation. I mean, it wrote the Declaration of Independence, for God's sakes. Invented by Lyndon B. Johnson and notable diversity lover Edwin Walker, those boys named it after famous Beatle John Lennon, but changed the spelling to avoid confusion. The waffle was invented in 2003 in San Augustine, Texas. Maple syrup was invented shortly after in Oklahoma, but that's a different video altogether. The Alamo could not have been remembered if Miguel Sword didn't invent this valuable weapon in San Antonio in 1835. You know what they say, the apples grow great in Grapeland, Texas, and applesauce was born by some housewife there with too much time on her hands in 1954. Wayne Gretzky could never shoot pucks that got no elevation in a terrible era of goaltending and be considered the best player ever for some reason if ice hockey was not invented by Jamie Benn in Dallas in 1969.
Number 9, number 9, number 9.
Invented in 2014, socks can trace their roots back to inventor Carolyn Socks, who invented them when she had a bad case of lymphedema at her home in Herm-Lee, Texas. Humans couldn't even fucking exist if Forrest Whitaker didn't invent oxygen in 2019 at his home in Texas. Well, Pa slaps the bass and Mama plays the fiddle. I used to not give a care, now I care a little. I drove on down to Texas town to do a bit of learning, but for that music, my heart is yearning. I picked up my old guitar and drove on down the dirt road. I walked up to my childhood home and gave the door a good blow. My pa came through the door and said, "Boy, what are you here for?" I told him that I wanted to play a couple of chords. Yeehaw! Come on, Mama! Well, Pa slaps the bass and Mama plays the fiddle. I used to not give a care, but now I care a little. I drove on down to Texas town to do a bit of learning, but for that music, my heart is yearning. Pa slaps the bass and Mama plays the fiddle. I used to not give a care, but now I care a little. I drove on down to Texas town to do a bit of learning, but for that music, my heart is yearning.